Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're diving deep into something really powerful. It's the opening of the Quran,
Mm-hmm.
also known as Al-Fatiha.
Right.
And, you might be thinking
Yeah.
like, okay, just the first chapter. How
Yeah.
deep can it really go?
Yeah.
But trust me, even though it's short,
Yeah.
this is a prayer that Muslims recite multiple times every single day.
Yeah.
Like, it is packed with layers of meaning that
Absolutely.
we're going to unpack.
It's
So,
amazing. What's fascinating is that it acts as like a blueprint for the whole Quran. It introduces the core Islamic beliefs and kind of sets the tone for this spiritual journey that unfolds.
I like that. A blueprint throughout the whole scripture.
Yeah. Okay, so let's jump right in. The very first verse begins with, "In the name of God, the gracious, the merciful."
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's interesting how these specific attributes of God
Yeah.
are front and center right from the very beginning. Like,
Mm.
why those two?
It's not just interesting, it's foundational.
Mm-hmm.
Gracious and merciful.
They're like woven throughout the whole Quran.
Okay.
And they really point to a God who's not this distant, judgmental figure, but actually just overflowing with compassion and forgiveness.
Okay, so we're already starting off with this
Yeah.
feeling of hope and mercy and love. And then we move on to praise be to God, Lord of the worlds. And what strikes me here is
Yeah.
the vastness.
The vastness,
Of
yeah.
that statement. It's Lord of the worlds, right?
Exactly. It's a reminder that God's sovereignty isn't just confined to one group
Right.
or one place. And I think that's something really important for us to think about now, especially in a world
Yeah.
where we tend to like really limit our perspective. This verse actually expands our perspective outward. It reminds us that we're part of this
Yeah.
larger interconnected creation.
It already feels like we're going from this like very personal
Yeah.
to this universal, huge, big picture kind of thing. And then verse 3 repeats those attributes again.
Mm.
The most gracious, the most merciful. So I'm curious, like, why the repetition? Why say it again?
Repetition in sacred texts is often used for emphasis.
Okay.
And I think that's really what's happening here. It's not just acknowledging these attributes,
No.
it's about really internalizing them. It's like a mantra
Okay.
that embeds itself in your heart, in your mind.
It's not just about saying the words, it's about like feeling them.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got God's mercy, we've got God's dominion over everything.
Yeah.
And then verse 4 kind of shifts gears a little bit with Master of the Day of Judgment.
Right. So this verse introduces us to this very important concept in Islam.
Okay.
It's called Yom Adin, the Day of Judgment.
Eh?
And this concept is central to how Muslims view their actions in this life.
Yeah.
And it's a really important concept for everybody to think about
Yeah.
because it's this reminder that every choice we make matters, that we're ultimately accountable for how we live our lives.
Mhm.
It adds a sense of weight, like, oh my God,
Absolutely. Weight and consequence to the conversation.
everything I do matters. Okay, wow. Then in verse 5, it gets very, very personal.
Yeah.
It is you we worship, and upon you we call for help.
Yeah, and this is really getting at the essence of Islamic worship.
Yeah.
Pure devotion to God, recognizing him as the only source of true help
Okay.
and guidance.
Okay, so we've gone from this grand scale of creation
Yep.
to this like
Back down.
very direct personal plea. It is you we worship, and
Right.
upon you we call for help. Like, wow.
Is powerful.
And then it keeps going. Guide us to the straight path in verse 6.
I love this verse because I think it speaks to this
Mhm.
very human desire
Yeah.
that we all have.
We all want to be on the right path.
Exactly. We want direction. We want a purpose. And it's this acknowledgement that we need God's help
Yeah.
to navigate all the complexities of life
Only so.
and to find that path that leads us to true fulfillment.
It's like saying, hey, we need a map
We do. We need a map.
for this journey called life.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we're asking for guidance.
Yeah.
And then verse 7 goes on to define that straight path that we're asking for.
Yeah.
The path of those you have blessed, not of those against whom there is anger, nor of those who are misguided.
Yeah. This is where Al-Fatiha really gets thought-provoking because it's saying, okay, it's not enough to just ask for guidance.
Right.
We have to think about what kind of path we're seeking. And the verse is really contrasting the straight path with those who've gone astray, prompting us to think about what it really means
Right.
to live a truly blessed and meaningful life.
So it's not just about avoiding the wrong path. It's about like seeking out and finding that right path.
Absolutely. You have to be proactive.
Wow. Okay. We just covered so much in just 7 verses.
I know. It's incredible.
From God's nature to judgment to seeking guidance.
It's all that.
It's amazing how much is packed in there.
And that's what I think is so beautiful about Al-Fatiha. It's this distillation of these core Islamic beliefs. It's a guide for daily living.
Okay.
And it's this powerful reminder of our relationship with the divine.
And I think, even for somebody who isn't familiar with Islam, I think these themes that we just talked about, like seeking meaning and purpose, making choices, understanding our place in this crazy world.
Absolutely.
Those are universal.
Universal. It resonates with everyone. It resonates with that human longing for connection and direction. We all have that.
We all want to know what we're doing here.
We all want to know.
Why are we here? What's the point?
Absolutely.
So as we kind of wrap things up here, we just heard this plea. Guide us to the straight path.
Yeah.
But in today's world where we're just bombarded with information and choices are endless, what does it even mean?
That's a great question.
To find a straight path and what guides you? That's something to think about. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
Thank you.
You'll see you next time.
See you next time.